world.
According to the Pentagon, 3 targets were hit:
violation
a
of
scientific
international
research
law.
center in Damascus,
And the
a
United
chemical
States
weapons
will not
storage
tolerate it.
facility, and a
The
command
Assad
post
regime's attack
near
against
Homs.
innocent Syrians in Douma, Syria on April 7th is horrifying and tragic, and it demanded an immediate response. Yesterday, United States forces, at the direction of President Trump, launched precision strikes against Assad regime targets associated with the use of chemical weapons in Syria. We launched these strikes to cripple Syria's ability to use chemical weapons in the future. We were joined by the United Kingdom and France, who demonstrated solidarity in addressing these atrocities. Americans are united in condemning Syria's inexcusable use of chemical weapons, which no civilized nation would tolerate. We are encouraged by the support we received from the senators and congressmen on both sides of the aisle. We are also extremely proud of the United States service members who carried out this operation last night. They demonstrated unwavering courage and commitment in their defense of the American people and the values and ideals our nation represents. This operation was carefully orchestrated and methodically planned to minimize potential collateral damage. I can assure you, we took every measure and precaution to strike only what we targeted and we successfully hit every target. This operation does not represent a change in U.S. policy, nor an attempt to depose the Syrian regime. These strikes were a justified, legitimate, and proportionate response to the Syrian regime's continued use of chemical weapons on its own people. We do not seek conflict in Syria, but we cannot allow such grievous violations of international law. Our goal in Syria remains defeating ISIS by, with, and through the 70-nation coalition. But we will not stand by passively while Assad, backed by Russia and Iran, ignores international law. The Assad regime's actions in April 2017 and again on April 7th, 2018, show they have abandoned their commitments to the international community and resorted to illegal tactics against the innocent Syrian people. We call upon Russia to honor its commitment to ensure the Assad regime dismantles its chemical weapons program and never uses chemical weapons again. We support our diplomats who are working to set the conditions for the United Nations-backed Geneva process to succeed. And we look forward to working with the United Nations envoy to Syria, Stefan de Mistura, in an effort to maintain transparency. General McKenzie will now provide a detailed overview of the actual operations. General McKenzie.
Thanks, Dana. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes just talking about the military details of the strikes that we executed last night. And could I get the first graphic up, please? As you've heard from the President of the United States and directly in this room from Secretary Mattis and Chairman Dunford, the United States, the United Kingdom, and France, 3 of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, conducted a proportional, precision, coordinated strike in response to the Syrian regime's continued use of chemical weapons. This combined military strike was directed against 3 distinct Syrian chemical weapons program targets, and I'm going to show them to you in turn on the monitor behind me, and I think you have access to that information also. The 3 facilities are more appropriately were fundamental components of the regime's chemical weapons warfare infrastructure. Let's go to the first slide, please. The Barza Research and Development Center. Next slide. Pardon me. The Him Shinsar Chemical Weapons Storage Facility. And last, in the next slide, please, the Him Shinsar Chemical Weapons Bunker Facility, which is located about 7 kilometers from the previous Him Shinsar site. This strike aimed to deliver a clear and ambiguous message to the Syrian regime that their use of chemical weapons against innocent civilians is inexcusable and to deter any future use of chemical weapons. We selected these targets carefully to minimize the risk to innocent civilians. We're still conducting a more detailed damage assessment, but initial indications are that we accomplished our military objectives without material interference from Syria. I'd use 3 words to describe this operation: precise, overwhelming, and effective.